The story begins with Nasa Yuzaki lying in the snow as his life force drains away. The girl standing above him, Tsukasa, asked him not to leave the world of the living. Pondering his life, the guy remembers that because of his unusual name everyone laughed at him. At one point, he decided to put an end to this and began to study hard to become famous so that no one would bully him. Nasa was confident that he could get into the best school in the prefecture and told his teacher about it. She tried to dissuade the student, but it didn't work because he was confident in his abilities. On the way home, the guy met a stranger and thought she was incredibly beautiful. Nasa was very interested in this girl, and he began to cross the road to approach her. But, unexpectedly for the guy, a truck was quickly passing along the road. He did not notice the car and suffered greatly because of this. Nasa is thinking about the fact that he doesn't want to pass away like this. At that moment, Tsukasa stood over him and calmed him down. Tsukasa also asks Nasa to forget her and walks away. Having gained strength, the guy stood up and asked the truck driver where the stranger had gone. The driver tried to stop Nasa, but it didn't work and he ran away. The guy ran for a long time in search of a stranger and finally found her at a bus stop. Inside, Nasa apologizes to Tsukasa, who asks him to sit next to her. The girl wraps her new acquaintance in her cloak, which makes him embarrassed. Tsukasa gets ready to go look for help for the guy, tells him to stay inside, and says goodbye. Nasa tries not to lose consciousness and follows the girl. After a short dialogue, the guy confesses his love to Tsukasa and asks to become his girlfriend. The stranger agreed to this, but on the condition that they would get married in the future. Nasa immediately agrees and then hangs up. When he woke up, the guy realized that a lot of time had passed since he passed out and was lost in thoughts about the mysterious stranger. Nasa was recovering and continued to study, but did not want to go to the school he had once dreamed of. Instead, he went to work in the service industry to find a stranger, but never met her. In the apartment, Nasa thought that he really wanted to meet that girl. Suddenly, the doorbell rang, and when he opened the door, the guy saw Tsukasa in front of him. She introduced herself to him and asked him to enter the apartment to talk. Nasa noticed that the girl was incredibly beautiful. When the guy sat down at the table, Tsukasa handed him some kind of document, saying that it was a marriage statement. This news greatly shocked Nasa, but he agreed to sign the document. When signing the paper, the guy doubted his decision a little, but soon rejected his doubts. After signing the statement, Tsukasa says that they both have doubts about this situation, but they will handle everything, and Nasa agrees with this. After this, the couple goes to one of the registry offices to formalize the marriage. On the way there, Tsukasa and Nasa chat a little about small things. The girl tells her lover about the similarity of his name with one of the space companies, as well as about the company itself. Arriving at the registry office, the couple quickly completed all the necessary documents, after which they were presented with a small tree. Nasa tells Tsukasa that she still can't believe that they are now married, and the girl invites her lover to take her hand. The guy is very embarrassed, but still takes his lover's hand. Nasa really liked it, and he expressed his thoughts about it, as it turned out loud. On the way home, the girl goes off on her own business, and Nasa thought about the fact that today he will sleep with his beloved in the same bed. Lying on the bed, Nasa thought about the fact that now he and Tsukasa would live together. He also considers that they together will not fit on his single bed, and looks on the internet for options for larger beds. Nasa thinks out loud about how he and his lover can fit on the same bed, but suddenly Tsukasa interrupts his lover's thoughts. The guy was very embarrassed by this situation. He asked the girl what business she was leaving for, and she replied that she was picking up her suitcase. While pouring coffee, Nasa asks Tsukasa about her house, and during the dialogue, the girl stated that she plans to live with her lover on a permanent basis. This embarrassed him and caused him to spill his coffee on the floor. During the dialogue, the girl stated that she would spend the night in a capsule hotel. This upset the guy, but Tsukasa calmed him down. Immersed in memories, the guy could not understand why his beloved wanted to marry him and asked her this question. To this, the girl asks Nasa the same question, but he didn't say anything intelligible. After this, Tsukasa is about to leave, but the guy asks her not to leave him. The couple decides to buy the girl a mattress so she has somewhere to sleep. In the store, Nasa tells her lover about all the types of mattresses that she points out. Suddenly, the guy gets the idea that he can now take Tsukasa's hand, and embarrassedly does so. The girl took her lover's hand more tightly. Already at home, she lies on the new mattress, happy with this purchase. Tsukasa has already suggested going to bed, but notices that Nasa does not have all the things she needs in the house, and the couple decides to take a walk and buy the necessary things at the same time. Afterwards, Tsukasa changed into the pajamas her husband bought for her and thanks him for it. Nasa also got ready to change clothes, after which he went to his beloved. She was sitting in 2 bundles, which embarrassed the guy. A little later, the couple says goodnight to each other, but Nasa cannot sleep. While watching his wife, the guy notices that she is spinning around a lot in her sleep. He stood up to lay Tsukasa down properly and then decided to kiss her. At the last moment, the guy changes his mind, and suddenly his lover got up from her mattress and went to drink water. She soon returns and stands in front of Nasa's bed and takes away his blanket. Already in the morning, Tsukasa looks around in confusion and is about to change clothes in front of her lover, but he prevented this. After changing, Nasa saw his wife in front of him, dressed in an apron, and the couple started a small dialogue about what to call each other. Tsukasa tells her lover that she is going to cook something, and Nasa is very happy that she is now his wife. The guy tells his beloved what dish he always eats, and after that the girl asks to give her 10 minutes to cook. After this time, the table was set with many dishes, which surprised Nasa. He was very shocked by his wife's high culinary skills. After that, Tsukasa asked her lover where he goes to wash. During the dialogue, it turned out that the guy had few things for bath. The couple leaves the store with a bag of all the things the girl needs. Before the bath, Kane Marisugawa meets them, and she is surprised that Nasa came with a girl. The guy tries to introduce the girls to each other, but Kane makes fun of him, which embarrasses him. Still, Nasa introduced Kane to his beloved, and also said that he and Tsukasa are now married. This news greatly shocked the girl. As soon as Tsukasa walked inside, she began asking the guy about his wife. Kane and Nasa began to quarrel, which attracted the attention of strangers. Having calmed down, the girl asked Nasa about how he got married to Tsukasa. After this, Kane told the guy the responsibilities that marriage brings. During the dialogue, the guy declares that he will definitely make his wife happy, and at this moment Tsukasa herself comes out to them. The situation confused them both, and soon the girl went inside again. In the men's section of the bath, Nasa was contemplating seeing his wife in the process of bathing, but his thoughts are interrupted by the appearance of Kane, which greatly confuses him. At this time, Tsukasa takes off his clothes and climbs into the hot water. Suddenly the girl notices Aya Arisugawa, and she immediately began to apologize for her unexpected appearance. Aya confuses Tsukasa with her talk and ends up offering to rub her back. Kane cleans up the men's section of the bath and continues to make fun of Nasa. Aya washes Tsukasa's back and compliments the girl's skin in the process. After that, Aya wondered if this compliment would be appropriate and ended up feeling even more embarrassed. She began to apologize to Tsukasa, after which the girls introduced themselves to each other. After some time, Nasa woke up in a chair and Tsukasa was standing next to him. Soon Aya comes to them and the guys start a small dialogue. Aya said that Nasa once helped them a lot in the development of their bath and thanked the guy for this. Soon the couple went home, and on the way Nasa noticed that his lover was in a bad mood. The couple misunderstood each other's words, and soon the guy gave his beloved the keys to the apartment and ran away somewhere. Arriving home, Tsukasa was wondering when Nasa would return and decided to do something around the house. After going through some options, the girl decided to start cooking. Soon she heard the doorbell ring. Opening it, Tsukasa saw Chido's Kajinoji in front of her. She had already started talking about something, but Tsukasa closed the door in front of her. Chidos apologizes to the girl and asks to be let inside to talk. After a short dialogue, Tsukasa asks the unexpected guest to leave and said that she is now married. Chidos was very shocked by this, and after that the girl closed the door in front of her. Chidos was quietly sat on the steps when suddenly Nasa came up to her and asked if everything was okay. He handed the girl his handkerchief and soon learned that her sister did not want to return home. The guys chatted for a bit, but their dialogue was interrupted by Tsukasa. Only then did Chidos realize that it was Nasa who married her sister, and she was very angry. Tsukasa told her lover who this girl was, and he began to get to know Chidos. The girl speaks out against their marriage, but Nasa talks about it and thinks it over well. Chidos is not happy with this proposal, and the guy is tied up and dragged into her car, after which they drive away. The girl talks about how she wants to force Tsukasa to leave Nasa with the help of the yellow press. Chidos invites her maids, Aurora and Charlotte, into her room to help her with her plan. While the three girls were arguing about this, Nasa managed to escape from them. The guy decided to hide in one of the rooms and finds a piece of moonstone in the center of it. While he was thinking about it and looking at how it worked, Charlotte burst into the room with a huge sword in her hands. During the confrontation, Charlotte accidentally hit the box containing the moonstone with her sword. Nasa asks to bring him some things and begins to repair the damage. While conducting a dialogue, Chidos learned that the guy knew nothing about his lover's past, which angered her. The girl lost herself in memories of how Tsukasa once saved her, after which she began to scream at Nasa. Charlotte thanked the guy for helping him save the moon rock, but in a very unusual way, and Aurora took photos of it. After that, she sat down at the computer and began editing the photos she had taken. During the argument, Tsukasa also appeared in the room and took the edited photo from her lover's hands. She soon calls Nasa to have a serious conversation elsewhere, but Aurora soon suggests that the couple simply ran away from them. Tsukasa shows her husband a secret passage through which they can escape, and the couple follows it. While escaping, Nasa reflects on his lover, her past, and their future. At the end of the passage, the couple finds themselves in a church where the guy takes Tsukasa's hands as he confesses his love. After this, the newlyweds kiss. Tsukasa notices that Nasa doesn't have a TV in his apartment, but today her favorite program will be shown on TV, and her lover's lack of a TV surprised her very much. The girl explains the importance of films in their relationship and also about the importance of following the chronology of films. Nasa was very surprised by her lover's passion for films. After some time, the couple was choosing a TV in the store. Nasa thought for a long time about which one to get, and Tsukasa said that any model would suit her because only she needed a TV. The girl smiled sweetly, and her lover did the same in response. After a while, Nasa told Kaname about what Tsukasa said in the church some time ago, and blushes, remembering that day. Kaname is not very happy about this, and once again she hints to the guy about the engagement ring. In the bath, Tsukasa also remembered her and her lover's kiss in the church. On the way home, Nasa tells his wife that he will be leaving for work soon and that he will be back in the evening. Suddenly, Tsukasa suggested the guy go to the park. Already there, she invited her lover to sit next to her on the bench, and the couple simply remained silent for some time. Nasa was alarmed by such a long silence, and he decided to take Tsukasa's hand and kiss it. The couple was being watched by Aurora and Charlotte at this time. The kiss greatly embarrassed both of them, and the girl said that she did not expect such persistence from her lover. Nasa tried to justify himself, and the couple began to have an awkward argument about the situation. Soon the girl accompanies her lover to work, and there he thinks about how to overcome the feeling of loneliness when he and Tsukasa are far from each other. Suddenly, Nasa had the idea that wedding rings were the solution to this problem. The guy plunged into memories of how he had been trying to find Tsukasa all the time before, and when he came home, he was glad that she was now waiting for him at home. During the meal, Nasa asked if his lover would like to buy wedding rings, and after that, Tsukasa explained to him the difference between marriage proposal rings and regular wedding rings. Afterwards, she still states that she doesn't want an engagement ring, which upsets Nasa greatly. After a short dialogue, Tsukasa invites her lover to go to the jewelry store the next day to look at the rings. At the store, Nasa is shocked by the price of diamond rings, and the consultant explains to him why such rings are so expensive. After this, Tsukasa drags the guy outside to talk. Nasa was very upset that he couldn't buy a ring there, and then the girl suggested going to another store. The rings there were of lower quality but cheaper. After that, Tsukasa said that the rings would be a waste of money, and then the guy explained why he wanted to buy them. After such a confession, the girl kisses her lover on the cheek and confesses her love. The couple ended up buying the cheapest wedding rings, but Tsukasa said she was fine with it. She also said that she would remember the guy every time she looked at the ring. The couple holds hands and continues walking. Nasa watched his wife's restless sleep, but suddenly Tsukasa decided to lie on the guy's arm and fell asleep in that position. This embarrassed him greatly, and he decided to hug his beloved from behind. The guy is very embarrassed by such close contact with Tsukasa, but she soon woke up. Unexpectedly for Nasa, she kissed him and continued to sleep in her usual place. After that night, the guy started thinking about buying a double bed and also about moving, because this apartment was very small for two people. But he blushes at the thought of living together in a large apartment. Suddenly, Nasa asks Tsukasa if she wants to move to a bigger apartment. The girl says that she doesn't want to, because it's good for her to live here with her lover. Both were confused by this situation. Nasa was sitting and reading something, when suddenly Kaname asks him if he is really thinking about moving, and what Tsukasa thinks about this. After that, Kaname scolded the guy for his indecisiveness. On the way home, Nasa decides to talk about this with his lover more seriously. A couple sits in the park, and there the guy explains to his wife about all the privileges of living together in a large apartment, and also offers to place discs of all her favorite films in the house. On the way home, Tsukasa notices that they need a guarantor to rent a new apartment. In the process of dialogue about this, it turns out that Nasa has not yet told them about the marriage with Tsukasa. The guy decides to call his parents and tell the news, and his lover wishes him good luck. After the telephone conversation, Tsukasa asks his snake how everything went, and talks about the need to meet his parents in person. After some time, the girl asked Nasa if he was nervous before meeting his parents, to which he answered in the affirmative. The couple's dialogue is interrupted by a message that came to the guy's phone, and as it turned out, his mother wrote to him. She guessed that the newlyweds were going to move and that they needed a guarantor. She also wrote that she and his dad would not be guarantors unless he introduced them to Tsukasa, and invited the couple to come visit them this week. After this, the couple decided to visit the guy's parents in the near future, and the guy himself said that they live in Nara. Chitos, Aurora, and Charlotte learned about the future trip to Nasa's parents, and Chitos was very shocked by this fact. Nasa thought of the upcoming trip as a honeymoon and talked about how he and Tsukasa would spend their time in Kyoto. Suddenly, his wife came up to him and said that they needed to buy something for the trip, namely a camera. While setting up the camera, the girl said that she wanted to photograph their life together. Nasa was embarrassed by the idea, but said he liked it. The excited guy offers to take a photo of Tsukasa, and he liked the photo that came out and wanted to take more of them. After some time, the couple had already arrived at the station, and Nasa wanted to take a photo of his beloved. The guys decided to go to Nara by bus, and they were surprised by the neatness of the chosen transport. In their seats, Nasa and Tsukasa are talking about when they will get to their destination, whether they will get off at the scheduled bus stops, etc. Chitos, Aurora, and Charlotte are surprised that the couple was not going to Nara by high-speed train, and decided to go for their bus all the way by car. Nasa still couldn't fall asleep on the bus, while Tsukasa was already fast asleep. After some time, the bus stopped at a service station, and Tsukasa noticed that her lover was not sleeping well. The girl suggested that it would be better to go by high-speed train, but Nasa convinced her otherwise, and the couple headed to the food court. The pair were watched by Chitos, Aurora, and Charlotte, and Chitos was angry that her sister and her husband were getting along so well and promised to fix it. Chitos talks about how even the smallest problems during the honeymoon can ruin a marriage, and says that they are already happening between her sister and her husband. Nasa tells Tsukasa that he forgot to take his wallet and quickly runs to the bus. Getting off the bus with her wallet, it turned out that the girl decided to follow her lover. The couple held hands and headed towards the food court again, which made Chitos very angry. The food court has a large selection of food that you can buy. As a result, Tsukasa is the first to decide on the choice of food. The finished dish differed from the girl's expectations in both appearance and taste, and she shared her food with her lover. Nasa invited his beloved to taste the lime, and when she ate it, he began to photograph her. Tsukasa was very embarrassed by this, and Chitos, Aurora, and Charlotte continued to watch the couple. The girl was offended that her lover was photographing her at that terrible moment, and invited him to win her trust again. Nasa invited her to choose something from the food for him, saying what to share. Tsukasa agreed, and after a while she was happily eating the bun. The guy told his lover that he would go to the toilet for a while, after which Chitos approached her. The girl had already started screaming at her sister when suddenly Taki, a celebrity who films reports about such places, arrived at the food court. Soon Nasa approaches the girls, and everyone decides to run from the food court as quickly as possible. On the bus, the guy asks his beloved about Chitos, and the dialogue smoothly turns into expressing his worries about meeting Nasa's parents. Nasa himself encourages Tsukasa, for which the girl thanks him. At this time, Chitos, Aurora, and Charlotte were still in the food court. After some time, Tsukasa wakes up Nasa and says that they are already there. The guy asked his lover where she would like to go for a walk, but she only lists places with food. Nasa was angered by this answer, and he began to suggest taking a walk through historical monuments. Tsukasa finally agrees to this proposal, and Nasa drags her out for a walk. After some time, the girl came out of the kimono rental room in a chic outfit and with a beautiful hairstyle. The guy compliments her and both were embarrassed by the situation. Suddenly Chitos started yelling at them for getting married without her consent. Nasa suggested discussing this situation, and Tsukasa, Aurora, and Charlotte went for a walk to the places that Tsukasa loves, leaving the guy with Chitos alone. The girl invited Nasa to pretend to be a couple so that she could decide whether he was worthy of her sister or not. The guy agreed to this offer and immediately ran away in search of entertainment for Chitos. At this time, Tsukasa, Aurora, and Charlotte were sitting in a cafe, and Charlotte asked Tsukasa about how she felt about Nasa. The girl was embarrassed by such questions, but she still answered them in detail. Nasa went out with Chitos to different places, but the girl still had doubts about how well the guy knew her sister. But Nasa continues to talk about how much he admires Tsukasa, and Chitos leaves, unable to bear the feeling of being wrong. The girl shouts that she knows her sister better and wonders why she wanted to marry someone like Nasa. The guy began to talk about how lucky he was to meet Tsukasa, and about how he would always prove his love for her. After some time, Tsukasa asks her lover how their conversation with Chitos went, and the guy said that she was going to return to Tokyo. On the train, Nasa tells Tsukasa about his parents' quirks and that this is why they moved to Nara. Already in the taxi, the guy encourages his beloved before the meeting. After some time, the couple arrived at Nasa's parents' house, and both were very nervous. Suddenly, Tsukasa notices that someone is watching them from inside the house. Nasa opened the door, and it turned out that his mother, Tonikaku Yuzaki, was peeking. The guy tells his mother that he is going to introduce her to his beloved, but she is very embarrassed. Tsukasa herself enters the house and greets Kanoka. Her new mother-in-law gets embarrassed and runs away somewhere. A little later, the whole family is sitting at the table, and Tsukasa asks her parents to accept her gift. The father of the family, Nasa Yuzaki, introduces himself to the girl. Nasa tries to cheer up her parents, and she revealed that they weren't ready for the meeting. Tsukasa also encouraged them, and soon Anishi and Kanoka tell their son to go wash himself. Nasa doesn't understand why his parents are acting this way, and the father of the family says that he wants to talk to Tsukasa alone. The girl reassures her lover, and he reluctantly agrees to go. A little later, Tsukasa tells Nasa that she talked to his parents, and the guy was worried about what they said to his lover. The couple talks for some time and Kanoka walks in on them. She asked if they would stay there overnight, after which she embarrassedly hinted at obscene things to her son. Nasa was troubled by the thought that he would sleep with his lover today on the same level. Tsukasa interrupts his thoughts and says that he will also go take a bath. After some time, the girl returns and the couple gets ready to sleep. Nasa cannot sleep because of awkward thoughts and soon invites his beloved to sleep in his arms. Tsukasa lay on her lover's hand and soon the guy realized that his hand was numb. Soon the girl also noticed this and wanted to return to her mattress, but Nasa asked to kiss him with dismay. Tsukasa agrees and the couple kiss. In the morning, the girl woke up first and got ready to change clothes. As it turned out, the guy was simply pretending to be asleep, and this situation greatly embarrassed him. Standing on the street, Tsukasa met her lover's dad, and they talked a little about Nasa, and Anishi was very nervous because he didn't know what to talk about with the girl. As a result, the girl herself asks about her father-in-law's occupation, and he offers to look at his office. In the office, the father of the family and Tsukasa continue to talk, and soon Nasa comes to them. He is surprised that the girl is here and notices that she does not like history. She tried to prove otherwise, but soon everyone heard that Kanoka was calling them for breakfast. A little later, Tsukasa invited Nasa to walk around Nara and take pictures. The guy agrees, and the couple ends up at a huge Buddha statue. The girl invites her lover to take a funny pose, and then takes a photo. Already in another temple, Tsukasa again wanted to take a photo of Nasa, but he offered to take a photo together. After taking a photo, the guy wanted to go to the next place, but his lover said that there was nothing in that place. Nasa didn't believe it until he saw it himself. The guy is surprised by Tsukasa's deep knowledge of history because she didn't love her. After a long monologue, the girl began to film her husband. During the conversation, Nasa asks about when Tsukasa became so close with his dad, and the girl remembers her conversation with him last night. Anishi thanked his daughter-in-law on his knees for saving his son from the accident and asked him to continue to look after him. After some time, Anishi and Kanoka say goodbye to Nasa and Tsukasa. Arriving home, Nasa and Tsukasa discover that their house has burned to the ground. The guy first of all runs to help people, after which he asks permission to look inside the building. From there he takes out a tree that he and his beloved were given as a gift from a marriage agency. After that, Nasa tells Tsukasa they had a dialogue for some time, and the guy suggested that his beloved go to the bath to relax. Suddenly the girl told him that she loved him. Already in the bath, Nasa was thinking about the current situation, but his thoughts were interrupted by Kaname and began to make fun of him. A little later, she invites the guy to live with them for a while, and he told this news to Tsukasa. Kaname then proceeded to give the couple a tour of the house. Soon all three arrive at one of the premises, and Kaname goes to ask his mother and sister for permission for the couple to temporarily reside here. Tsukasa praises Nasa, making him blush, and Kaname returns with good news. After some time, she asks Aya about her crush on Nasa. Suddenly Nasa himself intervenes in the dialogue, thanking Aya for allowing him to stay here to live. After some words from the guy, Aya thinks about his relationship with Tsukasa, but in the end she did not come to any conclusion. After that, Arisugawa's mother comes into the room and talks about Nasa's marriage to Tsukasa. Aya did not know that the guy got married, and was very shocked by this fact. Kaname apologizes to Nasa for the behavior of his relatives, and Aya and her mother quarrel heavily. After some deliberation, Aya accepts reality and congratulates the guy on his wedding. After some time, Tsukasa tells her lover that they have a lot of clothes to wash, but she says that she is embarrassed that Nasa will see her underwear. The situation confused both of them, and soon Kaname comes to them and asks the girl to come with her. The guy at this time could not overcome the desire to touch his wife's things, and Kaname catches him doing this. After some time, the couple found themselves in a self-service laundry room and began to watch their clothes being washed. Tsukasa tells her lover that she doesn't have any underwear other than the one she's currently washing, which embarrasses both of them. Nasa struggled with lewd thoughts for a long time and eventually decided to take a photo of his wife. Kaname advises the guy to buy his beloved new clothes, and Tsukasa agrees to such an offer from her husband. In one of the stores, a girl asks Nasa to choose outfits for her and tries them on herself. After that, she also asked to buy herself some underwear. In the right department, the guy feels awkward, and Tsukasa sends him to sit and wait for her. On the way home, Nasa asked his wife an awkward question, which made both of them very embarrassed. Nasa offers to help Tsukasa with cooking, but she gently refuses. After some time, the couple was already sitting at a table set with food. The guy was surprised and admired his beloved's ability to cook. Tsukasa says that he wants to cook a lot for the guy, which makes him embarrassed. At the end of the meal, the girl invites Nasa to watch TV. Suddenly, Kaname enters the room and hands the couple a melon. After that, she said a few phrases that confused the couple and left. Nasa and Tsukasa look at the cut melon and then taste it. They both really liked her, and suddenly the guy wanted to feed his beloved with his own hands. The girl was embarrassed by this, but she still decided to do it. After some time, Nasa was talking on the phone and Kaname asked who called him. The guy explained that his old landlord called him about a new apartment. After that, he tells Tsukasa that they can get a new apartment, and she agreed to look at her example. After some time, the couple was at the right building, but both thought that the landlord had mixed up the addresses. Nasa suggested we go inside anyway. Tsukasa took her lover's hand and they walked inside. Having opened the door of the desired apartment, the couple was surprised by its spaciousness and beauty. The guy invited his wife to sleep on the same bed in the new apartment, and she agreed. After some time, the landlord wrote that this was not the example of his new apartments, but the couple is not sad about it. Tsukasa says that she is ready to live with Nasa and that she doesn't care which apartment. After some time, Kaname wakes up, gets dressed, and prepares to open the bath. Suddenly, Tsukasa speaks to her and offers to help the girl. Kaname turns her down and they start a small dialogue. Still, she finds work for Tsukasa in the form of cleaning the men's part of the bath. The girl coped with this task very well, which surprised Kaname. After some time, she thanks Tsukasa for saving Nasa's life. The girl says that she herself is glad that she saved the guy's life that day. After a while, she accompanies Kaname to school, after which Nasa came to her. Tsukasa calls the guy to breakfast while Aya watches them. Tsukasa asks her lover about his favorite dish, and he replies that he loves curry. The girl says that they do not have all the ingredients necessary for the dish, and the newlyweds decided to go to the store together. Arisugawa's mother asked the couple where they were going and called Nasa over. After an awkward conversation for the guy, he took his beloved by the hand and they went to the store. The couple is walking in the park and chatting pleasantly when suddenly Tsukasa asks why they are walking in a deserted place. Nasa was embarrassed by this question and said that he wanted to kiss his wife. The girl was also embarrassed by this and she refused this offer. The guy was very upset by this and he resolutely hugged his beloved from behind. Tsukasa blushed at her husband's actions and the couple talked for a while. Episode 11. Chidos, Aurora and Charlotte discover that Nasa and Tsukasa's apartment is no longer there. Chidos says that she needs to find her sister, but at that moment the girl was just passing by. The girl asks her sister to explain the current situation, but Tsukasa simply runs away. The girl takes Chidos to the playground and pretends that she lives there. By deception, she distracts the girl from herself and disappears. While going through unnecessary equipment, Nasa finds a takoyaki frying pan and suggests throwing a party. The couple asks Kaname about this idea and she agrees to come. Chidos interrupted the guy's dialogue and asked what kind of place this was. Tsukasa tries to fool the girl, but Nasa asked him not to. Aurora and Charlotte were also in the bath, and Kaname offers them all a wash. The girls took advantage of all the procedures and were about to leave, but Chidos remembered why she came here. She says that the couple could live with her, but Tsukasa refuses. The girls start an awkward dialogue about consoles, but they are interrupted by the appearance of Aya. Kaname pulls his sister over and invites everyone present to go to Nasa's party. Everyone agrees, and Tsukasa, Aurora, and Charlotte leave to prepare food for the party. Aya says that the party will be a good way to test how good Tsukasa is as a wife. Aya and Chidos were amazed at how much Tsukasa had prepared, after which everyone sat down at the table and Nasa announced the start of the party. Aya really liked the food that Tsukasa prepared. Suddenly Aya invites everyone to play video games. Tsukasa teaches Nasa the basics of the game, but he doesn't do well. After this, Kaname fights with the girl and loses. After this, Tsukasa, Aya, and Chidos take turns competing with each other. First Chidos loses to Aya, then Tsukasa loses to her, but she suggests changing the game. The girls fight among themselves for a long time and eventually come to a draw. Afterwards, everyone enjoys cooking and eating takoyaki. At the end of the party, everyone leaves and the couple washes the dishes together while talking. Nasa receives a call, after which he tells Tsukasa that he needs to work. The girl tells her lover not to get too carried away with the task, but he still works for a very long time. When the guy finally finished, it turned out that he was sick. Nasa is lying under the blanket and Tsukasa said that she will heal him quickly. A girl takes care of her lover while he sleeps. A little later, she thought about how to quickly cure the guy and decided to take a photo of him. When Nasa woke up, Tsukasa asked if he wanted to eat, but he refused. The girl is upset, but offers to wipe off the sweat from her lover and tells him to undress. This situation confused both of them, after which Tsukasa feeds her husband fruit. While getting ready for bed, the couple talks about the guy's cold, and the girl scolds her lover for not taking care of his health. At night, the guy thinks about his wife's words, and suddenly Tsukasa hugs him from behind, saying that she is worried about his health. The couple starts kissing, but Nasa gets carried away and the girl pushes him away. She got angry and told her husband to go to bed. The next morning, Kaname advises Tsukasa to wear the same yukata with her boyfriend. Kaname says that seeing a girl in a yukata will definitely cure Nasa. Kaname gives the outfits to Tsukasa, and a little later she asks her lover to turn around so she can change into her yukata. The guy suddenly asks his wife for permission to watch her change clothes. The girl shyly allowed, and Nasa was surprised by the beauty of his beloved. The guy approached Tsukasa and kissed her. After some time, both were ready to go to the fireworks festival. The girl said she wanted to try takoyaki, and Nasa took some for her. After this, the couple meets Aya and Chitos, who were engaged in an attraction in the form of goldfish catching, and invite them to participate. The guy agrees to take part, but nothing worked out for him. Nasa was upset, but Tsukasa cheered him up and suggested that he pray at the temple. The girl starts a monologue about how the guy is very dear to her, after which the couple hugs and almost kisses. But they are interrupted by Kaname's voice, and everyone is talking about choosing places to watch fireworks. Nasa offers to take photos of everyone, but suddenly the fireworks show starts and the couple join hands and run to watch the fireworks with everyone. The newlyweds look at each other as fireworks explode in the sky. Nasa gives Tsukasa a new phone, and she is very happy with this gift. The girl asks her lover to set up her phone, and after some time he gives the device to his wife. The first thing Tsukasa did was take a photo of her husband and ask him for his phone number. The guy also adds his beloved to his contacts, and after some time he communicates with Kaname about his phone. Tsukasa was very pleased with the girl's offer to be added as a friend and asks to teach her this function. Aya also comes to the girls and also asks them to add her as a friend. Nasa talks on the phone, after which he tells his beloved that he was asked to help at his old job. Tsukasa sadly sees off her husband and tells Kaname that Nasa will be gone all day. A little later, the girl thought that she was lonely without her lover and was going to send him a sticker, but still didn't do it. A little later, Aya asks Tsukasa if her husband writes to her. The girl discovered that she was not writing and was upset. Aya tried to cheer her friend up, but soon left. Tsukasa was distracted from her phone by a conversation with a client, but at the same time the girl continued to think about Nasa. After some time, she continued to be glued to her phone, but after a while she sat on the street and thought about when her husband would return and even began to cry. Suddenly Nasa wrote to the girl, and she was very happy about it. After some time, Tsukasa was getting ready for bed without her lover, and out of habit, she spread out 2 mattresses. The girl does not sleep for some time because of thoughts about her lover. Tired after work, Nasa returns home, and when he goes inside, he finds Tsukasa waiting for his return. The guy told her that he would go straight to bed, and already in bed the couple kissed. The girl asked her lover for permission to sleep on his mattress, and this situation embarrassed Nasa. Suddenly Tsukasa asks the guy for a goodnight kiss and the couple kisses again. After the kiss, the girl asked her lover to hug her tightly, which he did. In the morning, Tsukasa thinks about what Nasa said at night and blushes. Suddenly Kaname greets the girl and confuses her with his thoughts about her and Nasa. In the middle of the girl's dialogue, Nasa himself comes to them, and the couple shyly wishes each other good morning. At this time, Aurora and Charlotte come to wake up Chitos, and Charlotte wakes up her mistress in a strange way and tries to change her clothes. At the table, Charlotte talks about rumors that Nasa and Tsukasa had a good night together. Chitos is confused by this, and she explains to the maid what such a phrase could mean. Before going to bed, Charlotte confuses Aurora with her words, after which she falls asleep sweetly. Nasa and Tsukasa are embarrassed by the events of last night, when suddenly the guy receives an embarrassing SMS from Kaname. After this, the couple falls asleep, but Nasa asks her lover for a goodnight kiss. Tsukasa sheepishly agrees and the couple kiss. Episode 1. Nasa wakes up from a strange dream and Tsukasa comes to say good morning. She kissed her lover, which made both of them embarrassed. The couple discusses together that the girl did not really like the film she watched. At this time, the guy thought about the events that he had already experienced with his beloved. Suddenly, Tsukasa asks Nasa how long he will continue to work and says that she wants his attention. The guy invited his wife to go to the cinema together and advised them to start getting ready. The girl was surprised that they came to a luxury cinema, but Nasa said that everything was fine. He observes how excited Tsukasa is about watching the movie and her reactions to various moments in the movie. Kaname is talking to a guy about the fact that the couple was at the cinema. Suddenly she asked if the newlyweds were going to have a wedding. Nasa said that he and Tsukasa haven't thought much about it, and Kaname advises him to ask Tsukasa's opinion on the matter. At dinner, the girl says that she is against the wedding, but the guy suddenly announced that they will have the wedding next week. Tsukasa was surprised by this statement and tells her lover that he knows nothing about wedding ceremonies. The girl invited Nasa to talk about how he was going to hold the wedding. The guy was talking, and suddenly Kaname burst into the room. She apologizes for the intrusion and hands the couple a watermelon. Eating berries on the street, the girls agreed that Nasa knew nothing about the wedding. They soon proved this by asking him about the cost of the ceremony and his reaction to it. The guy finally realized why his beloved did not want a wedding and was upset. Chitos and Charlotte were training. Everyone, including Aurora, was thinking about whether Nasa and Tsukasa would get married or not. Chitos says that her grandmother Tokiko Tsukayomi would like to see Tsukasa in her wedding dress. Nasa continued to think about why weddings are so expensive, but Aya also heard his thoughts. The girl says that she played video games all the time, after which she explains to the guy what engagement money is. Aya noticed that Nasa doesn't understand such things at all and said that organizing a wedding could take a year. The guy was very shocked by this fact, and Tsukasa comes to the guys and explains why this process is so long. Unexpectedly, Aya said that the wedding might be worth the time spent on it, and that Nasa would definitely like to see his beloved in a wedding dress. Aya suggested buying the couple a wedding magazine to familiarize themselves with all the nuances. In the store, the newlyweds choose products and find the magazine they need. They were surprised at its large size. On the way home, Nasa takes out an ice cream from her bag and the couple shares it. The guy says that he read about a lot of details of organizing a wedding in a magazine. Tsukasa says that she is satisfied with the current state of affairs and said that there is no need to think about the wedding now. The girl approached her lover and took his hand. After this, the couple basks with each other on the same mattress, and after a short dialogue they kiss. Nasa and Tsukasa are watching TV and the guy notices that there was an incorrect equation shown in the movie. The girl suggested that at school her lover was very annoying to his teachers. Naoko Yanagi was sitting at school and thinking that after Nasa left, the grade statistics had gotten worse. She is thinking about how hard it is to be a teacher, but Taniguchi-sensei suddenly speaks to her. He invites Yanagi to go to the amusement park, but she rudely refuses. Leaving the store, the girl met Nasa and was glad to see him. During the dialogue, she found out that the guy had recently gotten married and was very shocked. Having thought too much, Yanagi demanded to come to Nasa's house. Tsukasa meets them at the door and asks about the guest's identity. At the table, the guy introduces his past teacher to his beloved, and Tsukasa introduces himself the same way. Yanagi told Nasa that his wife was very nice, but she herself thought that she might be hiding something. Tsukasa offered the guest something to eat, after which she enjoyed the girl's food. Yanagi observed the couple's attitude towards each other. While Tsukasa was washing the dishes, the teacher asked Nasa about his thoughts about the future. He said that for now he wants to spend most of his time with his beloved. A little later, the newlyweds say goodbye to their guest, and on the way, Yanagi thought about the fact that you need to live in the moment. After that, she called Taniguchi and agreed to go to the amusement park. Tsukasa and Kaname were having a nice conversation when suddenly Jinga Onimaru entered the bath. He said he was looking for Nasa, but the girl wasn't going to say anything about him. She told Jinga to either swim in the bath or leave, and he decided to buy a visit to the bath. Nasa himself came out to the guys, and Jinga approached him. The guy said that Jinga is his cousin, and told him that he recently got married to Tsukasa. In surprise, the guest fell to the floor and soon apologizes to everyone for what happened. Jinga says that in the past Nasa helped him with his advice, after which he asked his brother why he got married. Afterwards, Jinga asked the couple to kiss to prove their love for each other, and Nasa didn't mind. Tsukasa was embarrassed by this, but still they decided to kiss when suddenly Jinga asked to stop. He said he believes in love between the couple. A little later, Nasa asked his brother why he came to him, and he showed the guys the cage in which there was a kitten. Jinga said he wanted to ask his brother for help because he had previously cared for animals. After some time, Nasa and Tsukasa went to the vet, and it turned out that the kitten was very active. The girl suggested calling the kitten Toast, after which the couple thinks about who can give the kitten to. Jinga runs up to them and asks about the cat's well-being, after which Nasa explains to him various nuances in choosing products for cats. Tsukasa was surprised at her lover's deep knowledge in this area. A little later, the couple picks up Toast, and the girl takes him in her arms, and for some reason he hissed at Nasa at night. The kitten wakes up the guy, and he gives the pet something to eat. After eating, Toast goes to Tsukasa's mattress and falls asleep on her hair. During the day, the girl talks about how both she and the kitten will periodically demand attention from Nasa. Soon the couple was about to kiss, but they noticed that Kaname was watching them. A little later, the newlyweds watched the cat, and Tsukasa lay down on her lover's shoulder, after which they kissed. Nasa remembers that Jinga gave him 2 tickets to a couple's amusement park as a thank you for his help. After that, he asked Tsukasa if she had ever been to such places. The girl suggested they go to sleep early before going to the park, and Nasa thought about how excited his wife was about this event. It began to rain suddenly outside, and Tsukasa suggested they quickly run to the entrance to the park. The girl was delighted with the beauty of the room, after which she put on a cat's cloak. Nasa was surprised at how the coat suited her. Chitose, Charlotte, and Aurora were at the same amusement park, and when Chitose saw her sister, she got angry. Charlotte said she bought tickets for the coaster and the three of them were soon riding it. Tsukasa suggested they go to the House of Horrors, and there the couple took their seats on the slide, where they rode past scary decorations. Later Tsukasa said that she really liked it and that they should explore the entire park. After that, the newlyweds went into the space attraction and had fun there. Tsukasa told Nasa that she would like to go to this attraction again, but suddenly the couple meets Yanagi. She tells the couple that she came here with a colleague. Tsukasa thought that colleague invited the girl here as a date, but Yanagi denied it. Tsukasa did not want to spoil the meeting between the teacher and her colleague, and therefore she runs away, taking her lover's hand. Nasa didn't understand why they left, and Tsukasa suggested that Taniguchi-sensei liked Yanagi. The guy realized this, and the couple went on to the next attraction. At the entrance they notice Yanagi and Taniguchi and observe his actions. The newlyweds reflect on the fact that Taniguchi is very shy, and Yanagi does not understand hints. When they got into the boat, Yanagi told her companion that she was a little shy and took his hand. The couple speculates on how far Taniguchi can go with this. In another attraction, Taniguchi is thinking about when to tell Yanagi that he likes her. Suddenly the girl asked why he called her here. The guy got very nervous and soon watched as someone was already confessing their love to their companion. Taniguchi became more and more nervous, but nothing got through to Yanagi. Soon they notice that a wedding is being held in the park, and the guy notices that they are very happy with each other. Soon he invited his companion to go to a restaurant, and she agreed. Nasa and Tsukasa also decide to go eat. Soon Chitose, Charlotte, and Aurora come out of the store and soon run after the newlyweds. At a restaurant, a couple decides to choose food for each other and then exchange, and the girls watching them want to do the same. To do this, all three disguise themselves and watch the couple's dialogue about the chosen food. After some time, Nasa and Tsukasa came to the plush actor, and the girl hugged him. Charlotte and Aurora asked Chitose if she wanted to hug him too, and she agreed. In the evening, the couple notices Taniguchi and Yanagi, and Taniguchi himself thinks that he is head over heels in love with his colleague. Yanagi thanked her companion for the invitation to take a walk, after which the fireworks began. Under them, colleagues confessed their feelings to each other, and at that time everyone was watching the fireworks. Kaname called Nasa to fix the vacuum cleaner. Tsukasa brought the guys something to drink, and the guy began to fix the vacuum cleaner. After repairing the vacuum cleaner, Aya comes to the guys and asks Nasa to help her with her studies. He reads the girl's textbooks and test results and agrees to help her. While studying with Aya, Nasa talks about why he remembered mathematical formulas so well. Tsukasa comes to the guy for work and asks if he is tired of sitting and working all the time. The girl tells her lover to take off his jacket and lie down to give him a massage. Nasa was very embarrassed by this process, but soon began to enjoy the massage. At the end of the massage, Tsukasa asked her lover about his feelings, and he said that he wanted to give his wife a massage too. She awkwardly agreed and Nasa began rubbing her shoulders. Soon the girl asks to touch her more gently, after which she says that she really likes the process. After some time, Kaname asked Nasa about how often he kisses Tsukasa. The guy was embarrassed by this question, and the girl said that she was inspired to ask this question by a video she had recently watched on the internet. Kaname then explains that kissing different parts of the body has different meanings. She hands the guy a piece of paper with all the information about kissing, and he is very embarrassed. In the evening, the couple got ready to go to the store, and after leaving it they decided to take a walk. In the park, Nasa told Tsukasa that he smelled her hair because it smelled good. The girl was greatly embarrassed by this, and after that her lover asked permission to touch her hair. She agreed, and the guy noticed that her hair was very nice. Suddenly thinking about the types of kisses, after which the couple noticed Taniguchi and Yanagi walking together. Suddenly they kissed, and Nasa and Tsukasa hid in the bushes. At home, the guy was washing the dishes and thinking about the current situation in the park, when suddenly Tsukasa comes, saying that Kaname gave them the grapes. While eating it, Tsukasa said that Kaname also gave her a list of types of kisses and their meanings. Suddenly Nasa kissed his lover on the neck, which made her feel embarrassed. The girl responds to such an action with a kiss on the guy's ear, after which he kisses her hand. After this, the couple kisses each other on different parts of the body for a long time. In the morning, Kaname asks Nasa if she and Tsukasa walked in the park yesterday, and tells him that she saw them. Arisugawa's mother returned from a trip abroad and said that she brought tickets for her daughters to visit the hot springs. A little later, Kaname tries to give them to Nasa, but he refuses. The girl says that her family will not be able to visit the springs, so she wants the couple to take them in. Soon the guy tells Tsukasa about this situation, and both of them were embarrassed that they would be at the springs only together. Kaname escorts the embarrassed couple on vacation, and the girl wonders whether they will be able to get to their destination without problems. Chitos, Charlotte, and Aurora found out about the newlyweds' trip to the springs, but Chitos said that she would not pursue them. On the train, Nasa asks Tsukasa if she has ever been to the springs, and also asks if she is nervous. The girl is trying to justify herself and offered to have a snack. The couple was shocked by the size of the hotel they were checking into and decided to go inside. After confirming that the huge room was theirs, Nasa suggested they use the large bathroom. Along the way, Tsukasa wondered how her lover managed to remain calm in such a situation. In the bathroom itself, the guy relaxed at first, but then suddenly decided to learn everything about Kusatsu in order to give his beloved the best excursion. Nasa found all the necessary information on his phone, and on the way from the bathroom an old woman accosts him. She complains about her problems to her boyfriend, and he decides to help her. At this time, Tsukasa was enjoying her stay in the hot water, and in bath, Aya complains to Kaname that she is tired of preparing for exams. Kaname suggested that her sister change her field of activity, namely, start working. After that, she said that she called Chitos for help. She is angry because she had to wear a swimsuit to clean the bath. The girls begin to quarrel and take off each other's swimsuits, and Kaname was pleased with this spectacle. Tsukasa came out of the water and decided to go to the room earlier. The old lady had another problem, and, reluctantly, Nasa finally agreed to help. On the way, she asks the guy about his married life, and soon Tsukasa comes to them. As it turns out, the old lady's name was Takiko Tsukayomi, and she was Chitos's grandmother. She said that she didn't want to test Nasa for anything, but Tsukasa didn't believe her. Takiko suggested we all talk together in her room. There the guy introduces himself to the old woman, and she says that she has long wanted to meet him. After this, Nasa asks if Takiko is really alone in such a large room. After this, she says that she understands why Tsukasa chose him. The old lady also praises the guy as a person, and after a short dialogue she gives him a tourist card. Soon there is a small argument between Takiko and Tsukasa, and the old lady advises the girl to try to show her feelings for Nasa better. After this, the old woman wishes the couple a successful holiday, and says that she is glad that Tsukasa has a husband like Nasa. On the way to his room, the guy said that Takiko was very funny and gave good advice. Nasa was reading a romantic manga when Tsukasa approached him. She asked his opinion about the yukata she was wearing, and the guy was amazed at its beauty. The couple went to see the Sea of Hot Springs, and along the way the girl told many interesting facts about this place. The guys noticed souvenirs for Kaname and her family. While Tsukasa was eating the egg, Nasa took pictures of her several times. After taking another photo, the guy asked his lover who Takiko was to her. The girl replied that the old woman was her guardian and had known her since childhood. Suddenly, Tsukasa smelled a delicious smell coming from the restaurant, and the couple decided to go there. While his wife was enjoying the barbecue, Nasa took out a gift from Takiko. He is thinking of refusing to visit the offered baths for now under the pretext that they have their own in the room. Soon Tsukasa ran to look at the riverbed, and the guy thought that it was difficult for him to ask his beloved to take a bath together. Soon Nasa asked his wife if she would like to visit the open-air bathroom. She replied that she would like to visit something similar, but not here. After this, the guy suggests that Tsukasa go somewhere else. Reading the manga again, Nasa considers that asking his wife to go to the bathroom together is very difficult. After some time, the table was covered with a lot of food, and the guy was surprised at this. The couple starts eating and discusses how delicious the food is here. Nasa admires Tsukasa's beauty while eating. After dinner, the couple sat opposite each other and talked. Both thought that now it was time to take a bath, and they became very embarrassed. Still, Nasa plucked up courage and invited Tsukasa to take a bath together. The girl sheepishly agreed, but on the condition that her lover would come in first. Already sitting in the bathroom, the guy did not believe in the reality of what was happening. Soon his wife comes to him and asks him not to look for now. Tsukasa entered the water and sat down next to Nasa. Both were embarrassed by this situation, but suddenly the guy informally confesses his love to his beloved. She asked to say such things in straight words, and Nasa said that he loved her. He suddenly remembered Takiko's words and asked if Tsukasa was going to say the same thing back to him. Soon the girl also confessed her love to him, and Nasa said that these words made him happy. After some time, the guy woke up and remembered the events of last night. Tsukasa comes to him, wishes him good morning, and advises him to go wash himself in the large bathroom. Soon the couple begins to eat breakfast, and the girl thinks to herself that she was very embarrassed to wash with her lover last evening. Nasa suggested that his wife go to the bathroom again. Tsukasa thought that they would repeat the actions of last night, but the guy meant the bathrooms from the card that Takiko gave them. Soon the newlyweds were about to leave, and Nasa asked if it was worth saying goodbye to Takiko. Tsukasa replied that no, when suddenly the old woman herself appeared in front of them. After a short dialogue, she suggested taking a photo of the three of us. Nasa asked the woman to take a photo of them, and after a while Tsukasa talks to him angrily. Soon the guy took his lover's hand, and she said that she was worried when he did this. An embarrassed couple goes to buy souvenirs. Already on the train, Nasa thinks that he had a very good time with Tsukasa at the hot springs. The girl lay down on her lover's shoulder and offered to go together like this once upon a time. Nasa and Tsukasa beat the heat by eating ice cream. The girl noticed that the air conditioner in their room did not work. A little later, the guy talks about how he is going to buy a new air conditioner and asks Kaname for permission. She was not against it, but said that its establishment would take a long time. Nasa announced that he would install the air conditioner himself, and the girls were delighted with this. Already at the shopping center, Tsukasa noticed that the store had a large selection of air conditioners. The guy quickly made his choice, which shocked his lover. Along the way, the couple stops at a store with spare parts for installing an air conditioner. They are greeted at the store by Aoka Nakiri. While she was choosing the necessary tools, Tsukasa asked Nasa who this girl was. Aoka was so focused on work that she didn't immediately realize the guy's words that he was married. The words about romance in a relationship with Tsukasa greatly embarrassed both girls. After some time, Nasa installed the air conditioner, and his lover recalled the words he said in the store. The girl got ready to wash herself, and a little later she dried her hair under the air conditioning wind. The couple kisses and the guy turns off the air conditioner. Suddenly Tsukasa got up from the mattress and said that without air conditioning she felt hot. NASA has enabled automatic shutdown of the device. The guy can't sleep because it's too cold and notices that Tsukasa is also awake because of it. NASA set the temperature higher, but his lover was still hot. The guy watched her and turned the temperature a little lower and fell asleep. A little later, his lover accidentally woke him up and said that she woke up from the heat. NASA suggested turning on the air conditioner for a while longer, and Tsukasa kissed him. The next morning, the girl was working, and Kyuma Kagami came into the bath, confusing her with Kaname. Kagami wanted to ask the girl for advice, but Tsukasa said that she did not want to listen to other people's problems. A small squabble broke out between the girls, and in exchange for help, Kagami offered to braid the girl's hair. She offered to give her the same hairstyle as Kaname, but Tsukasa refused. The baby sat down on a chair and fell asleep. Kaname returned from school and noticed Kagami, who was very happy to see her. It turned out that the little girl was her classmate, and Tsukasa watched them warily. Soon Nasa comes to the girls, saying that he heard screams. Kagami greets him first, and then Tsukasa. Kagami was shocked that the guy lived here, and after that he said that he got married. Nasa is about to leave to give back the tools he took from Aoka. Kagami starts asking Tsukasa a lot of questions, but she reminds the girl that she came to talk to Kaname. Soon the little girl decides to go buy ice cream and come back later for advice. Kaname says that her classmate is very strange and cute at the same time. At this time, Nasa thanks Aoka for the tools, and she says that she still can't believe that the guy really got married. He began to talk about all sorts of delights of married life at the request of a classmate. Soon Nasa got ready to go home and Aoka said goodbye to him. She seriously thought about the guy's words. Tsukasa asks Nasa if he loves her, and the guy answers that he does. He found the question strange and asked Kaname's opinion on the matter. She explains that some words may be interpreted differently by women and men, and that Tsukasa asked about this just to be sure. The girl might have been upset by the guy's answer to this question, and Kaname scolds him for it. She also says to express your love for the girl as much as possible so that she does not get offended. Tsukasa herself sat upset and stroked toast. After a while, Nasa sat and thought about the words and advice that Kaname gave him. The guy also thought about when exactly he should tell his beloved that he loves her. When Tsukasa woke up, Nasa told her that she was very cute today, but it didn't work. The guy decides to practice saying such words more often in order to say them to his beloved. Tsukasa noticed that her husband was reading romantic manga during breaks from work and wanted to somehow spoil him. The girl decided to put Nasa on Toast's head, and after he ate the guy's hair, she took it for herself. She also thought that she wanted to have a little fun when the guy wasn't busy with work. Suddenly, Tsukasa asked Nasa to stretch his shoulders, but instead began to tickle his sides. The guy asked to stop, but his lover did it again. Nasa is a little indignant, and Tsukasa said that he is very cute when he is focused on something. The girl also asked why the guy started reading romantic manga. He refused, but Tsukasa tried to find out from him what he was not saying. After a short pause, the girl kisses Nasa, after which he talks about the real reason for his sudden passion for romantic manga. After such a revelation, Tsukasa offers to show the guy what he was able to learn, and his words greatly embarrassed the girl. Kaname noticed that Tsukasa was in a good mood. After some time, she asked Nasa if he and his beloved were washing together and offered to quickly go to the women's part of the spa. Tsukasa heard the conversation behind the wall, and this embarrassed her greatly. In the end, the girl agreed and Kaname left. The guy turned off the light and went to his wife. Both were embarrassed by this situation, and Tsukasa asked her lover not to look down because the water was clear. Nasa put his arm around the girl's shoulders and kissed her. After this, Tsukasa asks the guy to turn away and invites him to join her in the sauna. He finally decided to go into the sauna and thought that with such a high temperature he only had 5 minutes to do something. Tsukasa invites her lover to sit next to her, and after talking a little, she gets up and adds steam to the sauna. After that, she tells Nasa that you need to endure being in the sauna for more than a couple of minutes. At this time, Aya came to Kaname, and the youngest of the sisters asked the eldest not to enter the women's part of the bath, but to visit the men's. Jinga found himself dozing off in the sauna, and Nasa stood the temperature in the sauna and thought about how Tsukasa could tolerate it. The guy decided to take his beloved by the hand, kissed her on the cheek and hugged her shoulders. In the middle of the process, the couple heard someone screaming and got ready to leave. Aya scolded Jinga for being in the sauna at the moment when she also entered the sauna. Kaname apologized to the newlyweds for the incident. Tokiko remembers the first time she met Tsukasa. Tsukasa tells Nasa that the TV is broken. The guy took the remote control and assumed that the batteries were dead. After he repairs the device, the girl asks her lover if he thought she was stupid. He says no and thinks that Tsukasa is too good for him. After a while, the girl complains about problems with her phone password and Nasa fixes it. After that, he suggested coming up with a new password for his beloved's phone, and she talks about the fact that Tokiko is good at technology. After that, the girl again asked if Nasa thought she was stupid for such a minor problem. Tsukasa was annoyed and the guy tried to fix the situation. As a result, the girl agreed to buy the cake and the couple got ready to go choose it. Nasa hugged Tsukasa from behind, which made her a little embarrassed. A little later, the guy tells Kaname about this situation when suddenly the guys noticed Yanagi coming towards them. At the couple's house, she talks about how she will soon have a wedding with Taniguchi. The newlyweds were not at all surprised by this news, and Yanagi asked why. They said that they saw her and Taniguchi walking in the park, which embarrassed her. The teacher asked Nasa if he was worried before getting married, and then talks about his worries about entering married life with Taniguchi. With each stage of the story, the couple became more and more shocked. Nasa asked if Yanagi had talked to Taniguchi about this, but she was worried that if she told her date about this problem, he would stop loving her. The teacher finally decided to talk to Taniguchi about it, and Nasa and Tsukasa accompanied her outside. A little later, the guy was thinking about how pleasant it was to spend time in the company of his beloved, and even eat. Suddenly, he discovered that he had gained weight, and thought about how in such a situation Tsukasa would not gain weight if he ate the same food. Unexpectedly, Nasa hugged his lover and she also noticed that the guy had gained weight. He was very upset by this fact and decided to start exercising and go on a diet. Tsukasa told Kaname about this, after which Nasa himself appeared and said that he could easily run a distance of 10 kilometers. On the second lap, the guy was already exhausted and the girl decided to join him. While Nasa was thinking about being out of shape due to marriage, Tsukasa caught up with him. The guy stopped to catch his breath, after which he tried to pull himself up several times on the horizontal bar, but to no avail. Tsukasa offered to help him, but he refused and was almost able to do one pull-up. Nasa was sad because of this, but his beloved calmed him down. After some time, Tokiko joins the couple for a meal. Tsukasa was angry at such an unexpected visit, and Nasa greeted the old lady. Tokiko suggested that everyone go to the campsite and told how cool it was. The guy really liked this idea and suggested that his beloved try it. Tokiko concluded that next week they will all go camping together. Tsukasa reluctantly agreed, and before parting, the old woman gives the couple a gift. After seeing Tokiko off, Nasa asked what was in the gift, but the girl already knew the answer. There were ohagi there, and she remembered how in the past she treated the old woman to them while she looked at her in amazement. Nasa wakes up from a strange dream and watches the bell. Over the meal, Tsukasa tells her lover that she would not have gone on a hike with Tokiko if it weren't for him. The girl expresses many reasons why you don't have to go to the mountains, but you can look at the stars, and considers the invitation from the old woman. Aya also considered the invitation and was in favor of joining, which surprises Kaname. A little later she tells the newlyweds about this, and they were not against the company of the sisters. Tsukasa says that Tokiko has an area set up for camping, which was previously used simply for stargazing. Kagami unexpectedly joins in the dialogue, expressing a desire to join too. Nasa says that in this case he will invite Jinga and the others to go on a hike. Jinga asks the guy if Aya will be there, and he thinks about what happened between them that day. Charlotte and Aurora ask Chitos if she will go camping with everyone, and the girl replies that she will. The maids are thinking about going there too. Walking with Tsukasa's hand, Nasa talks about how happy he is that so many people are going on the hike. After a while, all the guys were gathered and Aurora interviewed everyone about who would take which route, walking or driving. Aya had already stopped to catch her breath, saying that climbing the mountains was difficult. Suddenly Jinga noticed that Kagami had fallen behind everyone, and Tsukasa decided to go after her. The girl approaches the lost companion, and soon they run to catch up with the others. Suddenly, Kagami notices a white mushroom, and Tsukasa warns her that it is poisonous and tells her about the types of mushrooms in the mountains. While Nasa, Aya, and Jinga were walking slowly, Chitos appeared in front of them and told them not to worry about her sister. Soon Kagami and Tsukasa come to the whole company, and everyone is shocked by this. Along the way, Nasa notices that his beloved is very good at climbing mountains, despite the fact that she does not like this activity. Waking up from yet another dream about memories, Nasa began talking to Tsukasa. Suddenly the guy invited his beloved to kiss. The girl said that someone might see them, and Tokiko appeared in front of them. The old lady sits next to the couple and talks about why she bought this particular plot. After she leaves, Nasa tells Tsukasa that she is the only one for him. The girl sat closer to her lover and suggested that the two of them take a walk. While walking, the couple from above watched all the guys, after which they moved away. Tsukasa wanted to cross the river and Nasa lifted her dress so that it would not get wet. The girl was embarrassed by this and the guy kissed her on the ear and confessed his love. A little later, the company notices Kagami is missing and Nasa suggests that everyone split up to search. In the evening, the guy discovers that he is lost and panics a little. Aya and Tsukasa assumed that Nasa was lost and Kagami agreed with them. The guy again dreams about the day when he first met his lover and she was already standing over him and waking him up. He asked the girl why that day she said that she would be in the place with him on the condition that they get married. Tsukasa said that not everyone would immediately agree to such conditions from a stranger as Nasa did. The girl said that she fell in love with the guy because he was ready to trust her from the very beginning, and the couple looked at each other for some time. All the guys enjoyed the delicious meat and other food that was available in the camp. Tsukasa asks Tokiko if there was a need for so much food here when suddenly the stage curtain falls. A presentation was shown on the screen about how Nasa and Tsukasa met, and Kane's voice was in the background. The newlyweds were very embarrassed by this, and they said that the photographs on the screen were not at all suitable for the story. At the end of the presentation, all the guys congratulated the couple. From the stage, Kane revealed that Tokiko had planned a surprise wedding in advance, which greatly embarrassed Tsukasa. After this, Kane invites the newlyweds to the stage, and they are confused. Tsukasa didn't want to appear on stage in front of everyone at first, but agreed for Nasa's sake. Tsukasa asked Kane why she called them on stage, and she invited the newlyweds to say a few words about their wedding. The guy agreed to speak first, and at the end of his little speech everyone clapped for him. After this, Kane announces that the couple will cut the wedding cake. Aoka rolls it onto the stage, after which a veil is placed on Tsukasa's head. Nasa complimented his beloved, after which the couple cut the cake and everyone congratulated them. The guy thought about why people introduced such a tradition as marriage. Already at night, he told all the children about the location of different stars and constellations in the sky. Aoka and Jinga don't really understand what the guy is talking about, which confuses him. Soon Tsukasa came to all of them, along with a box of fireworks. Everyone was happy about this and ran away, leaving the couple alone. While they were talking, Chitos came to them, but Kane took her away from the newlyweds. After that, all four sat down to drink coffee. A little later, Tokiko joined everyone. The old lady takes Nasa to talk, which Tsukasa was unhappy with. After a small revelation, the guy tells Tokiko that he guesses what happened that night from meeting the girl, but is still happy to be with her. She thanks Nasa for the conversation and asks him to take care of his beloved. The guy ran for a while until he came running to Tsukasa. The couple talks about what Nasa talked about with the old lady. Soon he asks the girl why she thought people got married. She gives a very detailed and deep answer to her lover while fireflies were flying around them. Nasa takes Tsukasa by the shoulders and they kiss. Aya, Aurora, and Kagami stood and talked about manga, and at this time the couple comes to a tent specially designated for them. Both were embarrassed that they would sleep in the same bed that night. Sitting very close to each other in embarrassing silence, Nasa thought about how close contact they could maintain here. The guy also thought that the tent had poor sound insulation, and that no one should hear them. Afterwards, he takes Tsukasa by the shoulders and compliments her. This situation embarrassed the guy even more, and he thought about how to invite his beloved to lie down on the bed together. Suddenly, he stood up and invited the girl to watch the stars while lying on the bed. She agreed, and a little later the couple awkwardly lies in an embrace. Nasa enjoyed the sunrise while Tsukasa slept soundly. Tokiko comes to the guy and offers him coffee. Tsukasa got up, didn't find her lover, and lay back down. The old lady suggested that Nasa wake up his beloved, but he politely refused. Tokiko also took the toast and began to fry it, saying that its smell would definitely attract the girl's attention. The guy really liked the toast and the toppings on it, and both began to enjoy eating the toast. The old lady was about to ask Nasa about something, but suddenly Tsukasa came to them. She was attracted by the smell of frying toast, and Tonikaku offered to fry some toast for her too. Already at home, the girl was playing with toast and talking with her lover about how the hike turned out to be good. The guy says that Tsukasa looked very cute in the veil, which embarrassed her. Suddenly his landlord called him, and after the call he told his beloved that their burnt house was almost completed. Nasa suggested going to look at it, and already on the spot the couple was surprised by its beauty. They both came up with the idea that there would be a bath in the apartment and that they would sleep in the same bed, and they were embarrassed about it. In the bath, Tsukasa offered to pack their things for moving, and while Nasa was doing this, Kaname came to them. The girl says that she doesn't want the couple to leave here. Tsukasa reassures, saying that she will stay to work here, and that her lover can work in this room. In the evening, the newlyweds walk and talk about how living in Bath was good, but living with just the two of them would be even better. The guy says that they can do different things when they are alone, and as an example, he hugged his beloved. After that, Tsukasa said that she wanted to talk about what was bothering her. Nasa got nervous, and the girl said that his hugs were bad. This upset the guy very much, and his wife talked for a long time about why she was uncomfortable hugging the way he did. After that, Tsukasa showed how it would be correct and comfortable to hug her, and Nasa himself liked it. After this, Nasa shares topics that he would like to discuss, namely that Tsukasa sleeps very restlessly. She said that the guy made it up and didn't want to believe his words at all. Tonikaku looks at the moonstone and remembers the past in which Tsukasa asked her to stop living after 2 years just because of her. After this, the old woman falls to the floor. In the morning, Nasa wanted to prove to the girl that she was not sleeping peacefully, but he thought that the girl might be offended that he took a photo of her. Suddenly, Chitos called her on her phone. After a short conversation, the couple runs into Tonikaku's room, but the old woman says that everything is fine with her. After talking a little with the guys, she got ready to leave, leaving the girl with her console. Nasa decided to follow Tonikaku, leaving Tsukasa alone in the room. The guy finds an old woman on the street, and they talked a little about the character of his beloved. On the way back to the hospital, Tonikaku gives Nasa the moonstone and asks him to look after Tsukasa. Soon after this, Tsukasa herself came to them. After a short dialogue, Tonikaku pushes the girl into Nasa's arms and leaves. In front of the girl's class, Nasa introduces himself and says that he will be their new teacher. Yanagi asks the guy to become a teacher for programming courses at school. Hakase and Yukai asks Nasa about his age. Yaba Shirogane told the class to stop shouting. Miss Hio USA praises the guy, and Hataru Kurenai asks a question. Suddenly Sani Asaka bursts into the classroom and tells them to shut up. Tsukasa worries about her lover. In the middle of Kurenai and Nasa's dialogue, Shirogane arrives. At home, the guy talks about his day to Tsukasa. A group of classmates are discussing a new teacher. The dialogue also includes Kaguya Geku, Haru Miyako, and Jesse Nikitama. Kaname asks Nasa if Tsukasa is worried about his new job. The next day, Aya learned from Tsukasa about the guy's new job. While walking, the girl asked her lover about school. He realized that his wife was jealous and told her not to worry about it. Tsukasa wanted to make sure of this, after which the couple went home. At school, a guy tells Azumamiya about the poor programming knowledge of students and teachers. He made statistics with the girl's performance results for convenience. Azumamiya praises the new teacher under Yanagi. Nasa asks her to go to class, where she notices an unusual writing on the board. Kaguya notices that the teacher has added something there. At home, Tsukasa is jealous of the guy again, when suddenly Kurenai shows up. During class, Nasa gives the schoolgirls a test. At home, Tsukasa invites her husband to go to a ramen restaurant. Haru also comes to this restaurant. Nasa and Tsukasa were sitting opposite her. During the conversation, the girl offers to choose dishes. While eating ramen, Haru was enchanted by Tsukasa's beauty. She found the ramen very spicy, and after switching dishes, Nasa feels the same. In the evening, the girl thinks about Haru, and Aya notices the girl's irritation. She found a schoolgirl uniform from Nasa school somewhere and invited Tsukasa to try it on. As a result, Aya was unable to persuade the girl. The guy sits and checks the test, telling Kaname about the great intelligence of its author. Suddenly, Aya arrives and invites the couple to go for a walk. Nasa notices Tsukasa in a school uniform and becomes embarrassed. After a short dialogue, they kissed. Aya thinks out loud about something for a long time and suggests that Tsukasa and Kaname dig a pond. After that, the girl ran away to talk to Nasa. The guy agreed to help her. Tsukasa decided to watch her husband dig a pond. The girl was embarrassed by the guy's appearance when he drank iced tea. While walking through school, Nasa met Kurenai. During the dialogue, all the schoolgirls asked to come to the teacher's house. Tsukasa tells Kaname about this. The schoolgirls wanted to go to the sauna and were surprised at how hot it was there. The girls decided to compete to see who could stay in the sauna longer. Soon they all left. Shirogane wrote to Nasa saying she loved him, and Tsukasa was very unhappy about it. While walking through school, the guy met a girl and she wanted to talk to him about that message. After the conversation, she asks the teacher for love advice. At dinner, Nasa talks about this problem to Tsukasa. The guy was surprised by his lover's answer. Aya is talking to a girl about something, but at that moment Jinga comes to them and says that she feels like she is being followed. The guys started arguing, and the guy asked Aya to verify his words. Shirogane invites Nasa to go with her and see her lover. The guy found Jinga and Aya walking together. The schoolgirl burst into tears at what she saw. Nasa calms her down and suggests confessing her feelings to her lover. Soon, Jinga says goodbye to Aya and enters an alley which Shirogane notices. The schoolgirl goes after him. Suddenly the guy hit his pursuer and he ran away. The girl confessed her feelings to him and he left. In the morning, Tsukasa accompanies Nasa to work. The girl thinks that she is jealous of her lover for schoolgirls. At school, Miss Hio asks the teacher if his wife misses him and talks about it in detail. Tsukasa was waiting for her lover near the school and he noticed her. Nasa said that he missed his beloved, and schoolgirls noticed the couple during this conversation. While walking through the bamboo forest, Tsukasa met Kaguya. In class, Kaguya told Kurenai the test material. Later she asked how her classmate knew about its contents. Kurenai came to Kaguya to wake her up for school. Some time later, Kaguya talks about her dream where someone is crying and calling her. Aya tells Tsukasa that she needs to express her love for Nasa more often. The girl was embarrassed by this and thought that Aya was right. The girl looks at Nasa for a long time, embarrassed. Suddenly she asked the guy what he liked about her. He listed many reasons and the couple kissed. Later, the girl asks Nasa to sit next to him, kissed him, and said that she was wearing cute lingerie. At night the guy thought about this situation. Kaname also noticed Tsukasa's problem and soon gave the girl 2 tickets for ice cream. On the way to get ice cream, Nasa confesses his love to his lover. The couple sits on a bench and eats ice cream, and soon Tsukasa confesses her love to the guy. A little later, the newlyweds hugged and Nasa declared his love in return. The guy opened his eyes and realized that he was dreaming. He thinks about being in ancient Japan. Soon Nasa noticed Tsukasa and was talking to her about something. Waking up from sleep, the guy burst into tears and ran to look for his beloved. He finds her working in the lasni, and the girl wipes the tears from his face, after which the couple hugs.